Hello there, it's midnight and you're watching Nightline with me, Nadia Azmi. Here are the top stories. Teachers allowed to apply for transfers after 2 years service. And Malaysia's GDP grows 4.4% in the first quarter of 2025. Good morning. The Yang di-Pertuan Agong Sultan Ibrahim and the Raja Permaisuri Agong Raja Zarit Sofia extended their Teachers' Day greetings to all educators across the country on Friday. Their Majesties also paid tribute to teachers for their service and contributions to the nation, describing them as the guiding light that illuminates the path to a brighter future. In a Facebook post in conjunction with Teachers' Day, the King and Queen emphasized that without teachers, there is no knowledge, and without knowledge, the path ahead is shrouded in darkness. The Majesties also expressed gratitude to all teachers for their dedication and sacrifices, adding that their service, whether in urban or remote areas, will always be remembered. In the same vein, Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim hailed Malaysian teachers as true national heroes whose contributions lay the foundation for the nation's future. In a video message posted on his Facebook account, he also likened teachers to elite agents on the front lines of education, fighting tirelessly to ensure that the mission of knowledge and learning is fulfilled.
Teruskanlah misi menyemai ilmu dengan tulus dan tekad. Kami semua menjadi saksi betapa besarnya jasa guru. Anda lah wira sejati yang membentuk masa depan Malaysia.
Anwar also said that the vital role educators play in nation building cannot be overstated and expressed his deepest gratitude to all teachers and education professionals across Malaysia. Education Minister Fadlina Siddiq announced 6 pieces of good news for educators nationwide in conjunction with Teachers' Day celebrations on Friday. One of the key announcements is that the teachers are now allowed to apply for transfers after just 2 years of service without any conditions. According to Fadlina, the decision to allow teachers to apply for transfers after 2 years of service compared to the previous 3 years is aimed at preserving their well-being.
Mengambil kira rintihan, mengambil kira beberapa pandangan dan keprihatinan kerajaan Madani dan kasihnya kami kepada guru-guru ini. Untuk itu, Datuk Seri, Kementerian Pendidikan Malaysia membuat keputusan KPM akan membuka permohonan pertukaran guru selepas seseorang guru itu berkhidmat cukup 2 tahun atau 24 bulan tanpa syarat.
Fadlina said this in her speech during the 54th National Teachers' Day celebration held in Kuching, Sarawak. Also present was Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Seri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi. Another key announcement is that the Education Ministry will deploy 1,470 teaching assistants this year, with selected schools set to receive 2 assistants each, based on specific criteria. As the third initiative, 32 teachers who received awards in conjunction with the National Teachers' Day celebration will have the opportunity to gain hands-on experience working at international schools in the United Kingdom under the Global Immersion for Future Ready Teachers gift program. For the 4th initiative, the ministry will send selected teachers and officers abroad to attend short-term courses aimed at enhancing their knowledge and expertise in specific fields. Teachers will also enjoy a 20% discount on flight tickets to all destinations when purchased through the MHGOM portal, as well as a 20 to 30% discount on online book purchases made using their ministry-issued Delima ID. Meanwhile, the National Union of the Teaching Profession, NUTP, welcomes the Education Ministry's decision to ease teacher transfer conditions. Its Secretary-General, Fauzi Singgon, believes that the decision will help ease the burden of teachers who are in dire need of a transfer.
With this reduction, it can provide relief to the teachers involved in terms of emotional stability and can increase their work motivation. We hope that a special committee will be established to consider this special change so that those who apply can be given due consideration.
The responsibilities a teacher bears goes beyond textbooks. They also shape minds, nurture potential and inspire change. No matter the challenges, teachers often go above and beyond to serve the needs of their students, driven by a deep sense of purpose and unwavering dedication. Nightline's Muhammad Nadir Azfar has the report.
A teacher's dedication can have a lasting impact. For one educator, his innovation allows students to learn the alphabet and train their fingers to recognize objects.
For Iranshahr Rahmatullah, his devotion to teaching compels him to give his all and often even more for his students at Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Pendidikan Khas Setapak in Kuala Lumpur. Visually impaired since the age of 12, the 42-year-old teacher deeply understands the challenges special needs students face in accessing learning aids.
Hari ini kita didik anak orang dengan baik, insya-Allah kita akan dapat setimpal dengan apa yang kita buat hari ini.
His dedication stood out when one of his blind students injured a finger and struggled to read Braille, prompting him to invent the Braille Magic Cell, a tool designed to help newly blind children recognize Braille dots more easily.
Datanglah idea kotak telur ni. Kotak telur ni sebab ada seorang murid saya seorang lagi ni nama Faiz, dia ni barah otak. And then dia ni cepat lost. Kalau kita ajar dalam beberapa minit, dia dah lupa. Kan? Dari situlah datang idea kotak telur ni.
His efforts did not stop there, as the Teluk Intan-born teacher also diligently translates textbook content into Braille and personally prepares examination papers to cater to his students' specific needs.
Yang paling penting guru OKU penglihatan ni kena kreatif, kena tekun. Kita jangan jadikan alasan lah. Alasan kita tak nampak and so on.
Iranshahr's teaching journey proves that passion, patience and sincerity can drive meaningful educational reform and turn it into reality. Muhammad Nadir Azfar, TV3.
Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim has criticised the narrow focus of certain quarters on the One Malaysia Development Berhad 1MDB scandal involving jailed former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Najib Razak. Anwar said the issue of corruption runs far deeper, as the 1MDB case may be just one of many in which billions were misappropriated by former leaders.
I was one of those strong proponents against this financial scandal, 1MDB, and say you must find out the truth. Yes, but I also know that the billions are stolen by many of the other leaders. 1MDB, one major case is ongoing. It's ongoing. But these people who've been obsessed with only Najib and 1MDB, I do not share.
Anwar said this during an exclusive interview on Al Jazeera's 101 East program. He also called out those who are vocal in condemning Najib but stay silent on corrupt practices involving other leaders. Anwar further emphasised that firm action must be taken against any leader found guilty of corrupt practices, regardless of their position or affiliation.
Point is, go. I want this country to save itself from corrupt leaders and teach those who are corrupt a lesson. At least take back the funds and bring back and serve the people.
Meanwhile, during his official visit to Russia, Anwar called on the Islamic world to stop burdening the younger generation with division and despair, particularly in the face of ongoing global crisis. Instead, he urged that space be given to the youth to contribute meaningfully towards shaping a better future. Delivering his keynote at the Strategic Vision Group SVG Russia Islamic World Dialogue in Kazan, Anwar called for the Islamic world to anchor youth empowerment in values, trust and character.
It's time that Muslim scholars, ulama and leaders view this proactively and positively. Enough of despair and disillusionment among our youth. Our youth cannot see the leaders, the ulama, having continuous rancorous exchanges on our differences and looking at despair and what's happening to Gaza. We have to give them hope and opportunities.
His address was part of the Kazan Forum 2025, which focused on Russia's and Islamic nations' experiences in youth policy. On the same platform, the Prime Minister promoted the Malaysia Madani framework as a future-oriented model that integrates economic progress with morally grounded leadership. He also expressed hope that the forum will continue to amplify the voices of youth and advise policymakers to listen to what the next generation considers important. The development of the Shah Alam Sports Complex KSSA is set to elevate Selangor as a dynamic and modern metropolis while positioning Shah Alam as a key urban hub. The Raja Muda of Selangor, Tengku Amir Shah Sultan Sharafuddin Idris Shah, stated that KSSA also reflects a new wave of development transformation that will serve as a reference for future urban planning. Tengku Amir Shah said he envisions Shah Alam evolving into a city of the future, one that is innovative, harmonious and sustainable, while also becoming a key holistic driver of Selangor's economic growth.
The new KSSA is an integral part of that vision, a journey that has taken me 7 years to bring to life. It is more than a stadium. It is a space for everyone, a place where people can come together to be involved in sports, in culture, in the arts, and in learning.
Tengku Amir Shah said this in his speech at the handover ceremony of the letter of acceptance for the KSSA development in Shah Alam on Friday. The contract to develop the KSSA project, valued at 2.94 billion ringgit, has been awarded to Lembaran Prospek Sendirian Berhad LPSB, a subsidiary of MRCB Land Sendirian Berhad and Malaysian Resources Corporation Berhad MRCB. Malaysia's economy grew by 4.4% in the first quarter of 2025 despite global economic uncertainties. According to the Department of Statistics Malaysia, DOSIM, the growth is driven by stable performance from the supply sector, particularly in services, manufacturing and construction. Chief Statistician Datuk Seri Muhammad Uzair Mahidin said that the country's economic performance reflects strong domestic output and a diverse industrial base.
Peningkatan ini didorong oleh perbelanjaan isi rumah yang berterusan dengan pasaran pekerjaan yang positif dan sokongan langkah-langkah dasar. Perkembangan aktiviti pelaburan yang stabil, pertumbuhan ekspor yang berterusan serta kerancakan aktiviti pelancongan.
Speaking at a press conference in Kuala Lumpur on Friday, Uzair added that the disbursement of the Rahmah cash aid and the increase in public servants' salaries have also boosted domestic demand. During the period in review, the services sector grew by 5%, driven by the wholesale and retail trade subsector. The manufacturing sector also moderated to 4.1%, following strong demand for electrical and electronic products. Meanwhile, the construction sector continued to record double-digit growth with a 14.2% increase for 5 consecutive quarters. The agriculture sector also recovered to 0.6%, supported by robust performance in the marine fisheries subsector. Following the announcement, the Finance Ministry MOF stated that growth in key economic sectors has driven a strong GDP performance, surpassing the figure recorded in the same quarter last year. The growth also strengthens the country's economic fundamentals in facing global uncertainties. In a statement, Second Finance Minister Datuk Seri Amir Hamzan Azizan said that private consumption, which has long been a key driver of Malaysia's economy, recorded a 5% growth in Q1 2025. This was supported by a robust labour market marked by a decline in the unemployment rate to 3.1% and stable inflation at 1.5%, both the lowest ever recorded under the unity government. Investment also maintained its growth momentum at 9.7%, reflecting strong foreign investor confidence in the government's development policies. Now, economist Professor Jeffrey Williams believes that the reciprocal tariffs introduced by US President Donald Trump played a crucial role in contributing to Malaysia's gross domestic product GDP growth of 4.4% in the first quarter.
And in fact, because of the introduction of the tariffs, Malaysian exporters have been increasing production and exporting to the United States in larger volume, In March of this year, the exports to the US rose by more than 50% to a record level.
Japan's economy shrank for the first time in a year in the first quarter at a faster pace than expected, underscoring the fragile nature of its recovery, now under threat from US President Donald Trump's trade policies. Government data released on Friday showed the country's real gross domestic product GDP contracted an annualized 0.7% in January-March period, well above the median market forecast of a 0.2% decline. This follows a revised 2.4% increase in the previous quarter. The decline was due to stagnant private consumption and falling exports, suggesting the economy was losing support from overseas demand even before Trump's announcement on April 2nd of sweeping reciprocal tariffs. Over 11 million ringgit worth of heroin seized. This and more when we come back.
On March 12th, we did a full 24-hour audit. Fly FM played 412 songs. Station H, 344. Station M, just 304. That's 20% more songs than H and 36% more than M. Just non-stop music, day and night. Fly FM, more music, less talk. For real. Audit conducted by Evolve Consulting and Training, Sundari and Berhad on March 12th, 2025 from 12 a.m. to 12 a.m.
Looking for a fresh approach to fitness?
Wellness, fitness, health start from home and at home. When you are healthy, when you are happy, you are a good role model. Be a curious cat. Always be a curious cat and make your own research.
Catch Women Talk Saturday 5 p.m. only on TV3. Stream now on Tonton.
Kerja dengan anak muda yang lebih cenderung kepada teknologi terkini kan.
Pada awalnya saya nak perlukan orang yang legend yang boleh memberi kata semangatlah kepada anak-anak muda.
Kita dah ada department effect, di mana department effect tu dia boleh generatekan effect tu dalam dunia 3D.
Ada interaction yang banyak dengan audience, so audience akan lagi seronok.
Especially peminat-peminat Ejen Ali akan suka sebab lama juga diorang tunggu kan.
Hari Ahad malamlah paling best nak layan filem-filem blockbuster di TV3. Syarani! Cintan-cintun luar angkasa pun ada.
It's gonna be okay.
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
Berdebar tak berdebar ni? Layan filem-filem hebat Mei ini di TV3 Blockbuster dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Welcome back. In Perak, the driver of the lorry involved in the tragic accident that killed 9 Federal Reserve Unit FRU policemen last Tuesday was charged in the Teluk Intan Sessions Court on Friday with 9 counts of causing death by reckless driving. However, Rudi Zulkarnain Mat Radi pleaded not guilty when the charges were read to him before Judge Nur Hamizah Shafiuddin. The 45-year-old accused was charged under the Road Transport Act with driving a lorry in a manner that was dangerous to the public, which resulted in the deaths of 9 people at Jalan Sungai Manik in Hilir, Perak on May 13th. For each charge, the accused faces imprisonment of not more than 10 years and a fine of up to 50,000 ringgit, as well as disqualification from holding or obtaining a driver's license for at least 5 years upon conviction. The court set bail at 6,000 ringgit for all of the charges and fixed June 17th for mention. In the incident at about 9 a.m, it was reported that the stone-laden lorry, believed to have suffered a steering malfunction, crashed head-on with a police truck carrying 18 FRU personnel. 8 victims died at the scene, while another succumbed to injuries at the Teluk Intan Hospital. All the victims held ranks ranging from constable to sergeant and were aged between 28 and 46. 3 men pleaded guilty at the Johor Bahru Magistrates Court to charges of assaulting the vocalist of a punk band last week. However, the court rejected their pleas after 2 of the accused denied the facts of the case. The incident, which went viral on social media, involved a group of men detaining, dragging and assaulting the victim after a concert held at a shopping mall in Johor Bahru. The altercation is believed to have occurred because the victim allegedly refused to kiss the hands of the older individuals. According to the charge sheet, the 3 accused, Samsul Muarif M. Padal, Mozlani Tukimon and Muhammad Ahnaf Abdul Rahman, aged between 34 and 36, had intentionally caused injury to 23-year-old Zaid Nazim Zainal Abidin by using an aluminium trash bin as a weapon to attack the victim. The offence was committed in front of a gymnasium in City Plaza, Jalan Wadi Hana at 10:30 p.m. on May 10th. Mozlani, a factory worker, and Muhammad Ahnaf, a freelancer, both denied assaulting the victim using the trash bin. Each accused was granted bail of 3,500 ringgit with 1 surety. The court also fixed June 17th for case mention. The Customs Department has foiled a drug syndicate that used a mover company's services to smuggle more than 122 kilograms of heroin with an estimated street value of over 11 million ringgit. The drugs were discovered during an inspection at the company's warehouse in Batu Caves, Selangor on April 10th. In the operation, the Customs Department's narcotics branch seized 90 boxes from the mover company's warehouse. A total of 334 compressed blocks of heroin were found hidden in 4 of the boxes, concealed within modified loudspeakers. Customs Enforcement Assistant Director General Raizam Setapa Ilyas Mustafa said the loudspeakers were intended to be shipped to Australia. She also revealed that this was the first known case of a drug syndicate using the services of a mover company to send goods in containers to Port Klang for the purpose of smuggling drugs abroad. In 3 separate cases, authorities also seized 31 kilograms of drugs comprising shabu and MDMA worth over 2 million ringgit. At the Kuala Lumpur International Airport KLIA Cargo Terminal, 2 condominium units in the capital and a courier company's premises in Subang Jaya. More than a dozen charged over Bangkok building collapse. The details when Nightline returns.
Nak kerja buat apa? Ni aku nak buka bisnes kopi untuk kita ni. Konsep bisnes kita ni mewah. Biji kopi tu sini kena rare.
Drama bersiri sulung Nik Amir Mustafa.
Aku rasa aku tak boleh jual lah band ni.
Lelaki tak bercerita, tapi diam-diam je. Move on, bina life baru.
Tapi perangai you macam...
Tepi. Ya, you tak apa, you okey.
Muat turun dan layan tonton sekarang. Semua favourite anda di sini.
Masalah kesihatan meningkat dengan usia, terutama warga emas.
Mana di peringkat awal ada simptom Parkinsonism, di mana ada ketar-ketar ya, ataupun ada yang banyak halusinasi, dia nampak-nampak benda yang tiada di situ.
Sokongan emosi mampu meningkatkan kualiti hidup mereka.
I dengan my arwah my mother, we used to walk, we used to dance, we used to travel.
Penuaan sihat kami bawakan dalam Hello Doktor Ahad 5.30 petang di TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Hari Ahad malamlah paling best nak layan filem-filem blockbuster di TV3. Syarani! Cintan-cintun luar angkasa pun ada.
It's gonna be okay.
Are you serious?
Dead serious.
Berdebar tak berdebar ni? Layan filem-filem hebat Mei ini di TV3 Blockbuster dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
onto the foreign front. A Thai construction tycoon and 14 others surrendered to police on Friday over a building collapse that killed nearly 100 workers during a powerful earthquake in March. President of Italian Thai Development, Premchai Karnasutta, were among those affiliated with companies responsible for the building design and construction. The suspects have been accused of negligence and breaching construction regulations. All 15 have denied charges when brought to court for pre-trial, while 2 additional suspects would report to authorities on Monday. Expert assessments revealed that the architectural design did not comply with ministerial regulations or meet the technical standards outlined in the terms of reference. Irregularities in construction materials were also found aside from forged signatures in engineering documents. Ukraine rallied its Western allies on Friday after Kyiv and Moscow failed to agree to a ceasefire at their first direct talks in 3 years, with Russia presenting conditions that a Ukrainian source said went beyond its previous demands. The talks in Istanbul lasted well under 2 hours, and there was no immediate announcement on whether or when the sides might meet again. Russia expressed satisfaction with the talks, and both countries said they had agreed to exchange 1,000 prisoners of war from each side. However, Kyiv, which wants the West to impose tighter sanctions unless Moscow accepts a proposal from Trump for a 30-day ceasefire, immediately began rallying its allies for tougher action. As soon as the talks ended, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky held a phone call with US President Donald Trump and the leaders of France, Germany and Poland. More than 100 Palestinians were killed in several attacks carried out by the Zionist army in northern Gaza at daybreak on Friday. Medical sources reported that the Zionist regime carried out horrific massacres targeting civilians, including an attack on an ambulance in the town of Jabalia that resulted in several casualties, the latest in a series of assaults on medics and healthcare facilities. It was also reported that the regime targeted more than 11 inhabited homes in northern Gaza. Many victims are still buried beneath the rubble, and ambulance crews have been unable to reach the area due to extensive road damage. Switching to sports, the 2025 Sepak Takraw Asian Cup in Kuala Lumpur. The national squad continued their pursuit of a third title of the tournament in style, brushing off Japan 3-0 in their Group B team event on Friday night. Riding high from clinching the Regu event title on Thursday, Muhammad Shahir Muhammad Rosdi, Muhammad Azlan Alias and Amirul Zazwan Amir kicked off the game with a commanding 15-11, 15-7 victory over the Japanese side, handing Malaysia the lead. The momentum continued with Farhan Adam, Haziq Hairul Nizam and Khairul Aman Rosdi, who secured a convincing 15-8, 59 win. The third Regu of Aidil Aiman Azwawi, Zulkifli Abdul Raza and Afifuddin Razali wrapped up the round with a dominant 15-8, 15-8 victory. The national team will next face South Korea to determine the Group B winner, with the place in Sunday's final in sight, likely a rematch against Thailand. Earlier, Malaysia opened their team event campaign with a dominant 3-0 win over Brunei. Moving on to badminton, the 2025 Thailand Open. As expected, 2 national pairs in both the men's and women's doubles continued their strong run in the tournament by cruising into the semi-finals on Friday without much trouble. National men's doubles aces Aaron Chia and So Wee Yik needed just 28 minutes to defeat compatriots Wan Arif 1-90 and Yap Roy King 21-12, 21-13 in the quarterfinals. However, the world number 5 duo, who just received the Sportsman of the Year award, are expected to face stiff resistance from Thailand's fast-improving world number 16 pair Kitty Nupong Kedrin and Dachapol Puavara Nukro in the semi-final. In the women's doubles, Perlitan and Mdina pulled off an impressive 21-14, 21-11 victory over China's Paris Olympics champion Chen Qingchen and her new partner Wang Tingye in just 34 minutes. The win sets them up for a semi-final clash against Japan's Rii Hirokami and Sayaka Hobara, with a spot in their second final of the year in sight. Concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at Nigeria's two-day Masquerade Festival, which drew participants from across West Africa in a vibrant celebration of endangered cultural traditions. With that, I'm Nadia Azmi. Thank you for watching and have a great weekend.